SportsBeat KC, the Kansas City Star sports podcast. It's Wednesday, June 14th, and I'm Blair Kirchhoff. We're talking Chiefs today, and you'll hear from tight end Travis Kelce, running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and defensive end George Karlaftis from their visit with reporters earlier this week. It's been a busy few months for Kelce since the Super Bowl, what with hosting Saturday Night Live, throwing out first pitches and all. He speaks about those fun moments, but you'll also hear a seriousness from him when it comes to getting ready for the 2023 season. Edwards-Helaire was the Chiefs' first-round draft pick in 2020, but he lost his starting role last season and didn't suit up for the Super Bowl or attend the Super Bowl parade. He tells us why and explains his motivation for this season. Karlaftis, a first-round pick last year, came on strong toward the end of last season and into the playoffs. You'll hear him talk about how the game slowed down for him. Okay, let's get started.
Well, I'll say this first. Everybody attacks it differently. You know, that's kind of where you have to build your own professional approach to this thing. Everybody gets that free time off, and you know, you got to do something. You just have to do something productive with that time, and you got to find a way to keep getting better, even though you're not in the building, and working on routes and stuff with the entire team. But it's over the course of my career, I've just found the groove of, you know, when to get ready. I take camp very seriously. I take preseason very seriously. I get a lot of my work done during that time, and you know, the free time that I get, I like to put my feet up, go see some family, all while staying in shape and getting geared up for training camp.
What's the biggest, I guess, memory that jumps out to you when you were a rookie? That first couple days at training camp, given it was Andy's first as a head coach? Really, that first training camp, you don't realize how many people are going to be out there. It felt like it was a game, you know. It was the excitement of, you know, people watching practice and stuff. I'm not used to that as coming out of University of Cincinnati. Our training camp was in, you know, higher ground in the middle of Indiana. So we didn't really have anybody at practice. It was kind of the dog days and just the fellas that were on the team. And then sure enough, I come to KC and it's a packed house. Everybody out there, St. Joe's, screaming, yelling, getting fired up during stretch. I'm just like, man, this is it's a little different. You don't got to, you know, you're not as much in your head about the dog days of 2 days and stuff like we had in college. Well, I guess we don't do 2 days anymore, but yeah. So I would say the crowd is definitely what stands out the most. Is there a moment you had that first season where it's like, oh, this is like welcome to the NFL moment with Coach?
With Coach, I slowly realized how Coach wanted things to get going. Like, I think he even said it on my on the podcast or the show that I got with my brother, New Heights. He was saying, you know, the first 5 years were a challenge, which is fun to look back at, you know, the first 5 years. And I've actually watched a lot of that tape, and I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, I get it. I get where he's coming from. You find that professional approach, and you find that, you know, that groove, and I think Coach Reid does it the best of, you know, channeling everybody to that discipline aspect. It's hard. It's not an easy thing to get a bunch of, you know, grown men to stay disciplined on stuff like, you know. So it's just, I think the welcome to the league moment with Coach Reid was just that eyebrow he gives you, man. That thing, he just looks at you like, all right, I better pick it up. Yeah. Better stop screwing around in here.
Last time you got one of those eyebrows from?
When I pitched the ball against Cincinnati.
Travis, I'm Mike Stockwell from
This,
the New York Times
yeah.
magazine. Can you look back on the Super Bowl a moment, and specifically at those 2 touchdowns where guys had like an acre of ground to catch the ball?
Yeah.
And tell me like how that happens, and did you know that was going to happen? What, you know, as the play was even called? I mean, that's, you know, it's hard for civilians to understand football. So explain, like, how that play came about and how those guys are so wide open.
Yeah, well, first things first is great game planning. You know, the coaches do a great job of understanding what, you know, the tendencies are for the defensive, you know, the defense that we're playing, or the defensive coordinator, and what his tendencies are to call in that area. And then, and then play design. You get everything mirrored up the exact same. That's a lot, and you know, tip of the hat to our coaching staff, both in the run game, the pass game, because all of it kind of ties in together in the red zone there.
But tell me about that play specifically. Like, what's going on? You're on the field, you're not catching the ball, but what's going on in that play? I mean, like, sleigh is like pointing this way, and all of a sudden somebody's running the other way. Like,
yeah.
What?
Typically, what we've shown on that play is just, you know, we have different versions where the guy in motion goes all the way across field, so the defense will just, they'll have an answer for that. They'll have, whether it's, passing it off to a guy on the other side of the field, or, the two guys playing man on that side of the field, which you saw a couple times in the Super Bowl, where they kind of just got confused on who had who. And that's where it comes to where the offensive coaching staff and then the guys doing it the right way on the field, giving nothing to the defense that we're doing something different.
Travis, is your training any different now that you're getting older and all? Do you're older and wiser, better? You look like a fountain of youth. You can see everything you've done. But I mean, what do you do to maintain that? We all get a little older.
I just love the game. I think that kind of keeps me living with a I don't know, like a young, fun-loving football player. I get to play a game for a living at the age of 33, 34, and I think that's I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that excitement that I had for the game when I was a kid. And every single day I get to come in with the best team, best players, best coaches in the world. So it makes it easy to come in here and just enjoy it. But I would say I just focus on a lot of the smaller things, the details of things, and just try and make sure that everything as an athlete, in terms of muscles and explosion and things like that, that everything's firing, so I don't go out there and tweak my back like I did last week.
You mentioned you taking this time seriously, like preseason and camp and all that. But how much? Karen mentioned, you're older in your career. How much do you embrace the mentorship, like with
Oh man, I love it, man.
Sky and those kind of guys?
We got the best tight end room in the league right now, and it's fun to be a part of all the just the grand scheme of things in terms of this offense and what it can do. But coming to work and being around the tight end group, man, we got a fun group that just loves to play this game and wants to make plays, no matter how they got to do it. Whether we're blocking, whether we're catching the ball downfield, or just finding a way to get somebody else open. And that's the beauty of the tight end positions, that we're pretty selfless, and whatever you need, we can do. And the young guys, man, the guys that are kind of like still getting molded into this offense that you'll see this year, any bit of advice I can give to anybody, and that's kind of across the league. I'll give nuggets of gold over here, tight end U coming up next week, or what I think are nuggets of gold. And you know what? And it'll be I'm here to try and get everybody to be at their best, and still got that confidence that what we do over here is always going to be number one.
Okay, we got 4 more. We got to wrap up, guys. So Todd, Blair, Pete, Mackenzie.
How much that's gonna keep you young?
Keep me young, man. I'll tell you what, it is fun, man. Seeing Jody Fortson fly around, seeing Noah fly around, Matt Bushman coming in, making plays every single day. That gets you excited about the group. So that alone kind of builds the motivation, that kind of builds the beast and gets you to want to fly around too and have some fun catching the ball and getting open, man. So without a doubt, man, I think it fuels me, but I think this entire team fuels each other. We don't got a lot of drains out here, baby. It's all City of Fountains out here.
Travis, one of the things like on the podcast that you guys are doing, if there weren't podcasts for you, or maybe there were, but you probably wouldn't have been trusted to do a podcast in your first 5 years of the league.
It's fair enough.
And now you are. Can you tell us? I don't think I've heard you talk about how that came about. Did you ask the team permission? Were they like, all right, Travis, we trust you to do this now?
It was kind of like when I got drafted. It was just like, oh, all right, who are you doing it with? He was like, I'm doing it with Jason. Like, oh, okay, whatever. You can do it then. So that was basically the premise of it right there.
So it's only Jason. He has to trust you too, though, right?
I mean, on 3rd and 10, I think I built the trust enough, but yeah, we're still working on everything else.
Blair.
I don't think we've talked
Work in progress.
since the SNL appearance, but I'm just wondering, what did you appreciate about the way they go about their business?
It was a machine, man. It was a very strategic, structured machine, and then there was a lot of fun in terms of the creativity. The structure is there so that everybody that is creative can kind of have like parameters. And on top of that, everybody works great together there. All the writers, the production, everyone, it's like a team effort. So in terms of like drawing up plays and going out there and performing, the plays on the field and the creativity that's kind of built into it all, there's some similarities, I will say this, but there's nothing like being in front of the world with a mic in your hand.
Pete and then Mackenzie.
I know that you recently hired some off-the-field representation, just given some of these opportunities like the match and SNL. Questions always asked is how long do you feel like you want to go? Just considering sometimes when tight ends get to their mid-30s, they start to look at that.
Till the wheels fall off, baby. I love this game, man. I know I'm gonna miss it when I'm done playing, but it's I hear you on that, and that's a business decision I'm sure I'll have to make at some point in my life. But for right now, I'm in this building wanting to win football games, man.
We have to ask, last night you got a second chance at a first pitch. What was that?
I'll tell you what, I got lucky. I did. I got lucky. I don't know if you guys saw the left foot slide there, good foot, but yeah, I think that actually helped it come back over the plate. So yeah, I got lucky. I didn't fall on my tail and go viral yet again for the wrong reason. But yeah, shout out to Bobby Witt for he kind of painted that corner for me a little bit, put it over the plate. So thanks to the Royals for letting me get a second chance. And I'm sorry, Cleveland. I'm so embarrassed to come back home now. But you know what I mean.
Travis, are you at all impressed with what you're accomplishing at what is considered an advanced football age?
I would say my mentality is always on my worst critic. I can't watch myself on film without just absolutely just telling myself that I suck 90% of the time. There's times where it's fun and you make it play or you get open, or you make a good route or you make a good block. But at the same time, it's you have to be your own worst critic. You can't sit there on the times that you have success. There's always chances where you can just keep getting better and getting better, and that's just kind of the mentality I've always had in my athletic career.
Clyde, we didn't get the option for that fifth-year thing. Just tell us about your motivation right now going into this year, knowing that it could be a free agent year after this.
Just like every year, I know it's year after year. I can't think 2 years ahead from now or the position that I would be in 12 months from now when I know I still had the rest of OTAs and camp. So it was really just coming in and figure out and see the things that I could work on, and from that point just kind of roll with it during camp.
How does that actually work, with you guys? Did they just tell your agent, hey, we're not going to pick up the option? They call you? How does the logistics of that actually go?
They called my agent, and that was pretty much the gist of it. It was off season during camp, and everything else was kind of online. Like, I'm really not a big online Twitter guy, so it was just kind of just hopping online, and then you get a call. That's about it. Oh, I mean, yeah, most definitely. It's one of those things. But it's also it's 2 years from now, so it's one of those, like, I know what I have to do in order to get on the field and do the things that I need to do this year. But as far as focusing on something 2 years from now, I can't tell you what would be the motivation, and or if it's just something with how the dice roll and they figure out money wise. Why try to put all our eggs in one basket for 2 years from now, not knowing what's happening on the back end? So it's football.
Clyde, what was last year like for you, given the fact you got hurt again and you lost some of your playing time? What was last season like for you?
I would say I wouldn't even really say a roller coaster. I would just say experiences, man. It's I mean, I wouldn't even say it was some of the hardest things. It was just you go through something, you figure it out, and just like my dad said, man, him being in the Marines and kind of being a narcotics police officer, you kind of you hound in on the thing that's as far as what you need to focus on, and then you go at that. You can't really, shoot for the stars if you're not aiming for the things in order to get to the stars. So you got to go through some planets and some other things in order to get to where you're trying to go. So I mean, it was some things, some trials and tribulations throughout that time, but it was never just I was just like kind of down and out. I was doing the things I needed to do in the building, outside the building, and in order to get in the position that I am today as far as practicing.
You mentioned planning. You had a couple of injuries while you've been in the league, but do you look at off season and say, all right, I need to train differently, or I need to eat differently, or how does that work for you?
Oh yeah, that's as far as a professional athlete, I feel like that's something you should do every year. That's not if someone says they has everything figured out, every I dotted and every T crossed, I would say they're a lie, because it's just one of those things. You could be the top of your game. I mean, I could say you can ask Patrick Mahomes the same question. I would say the greatest player, in the league right now, and he would say, yeah, I'm going to work on some stuff in the off season. So, and me not being as far as in the same position that he was, obviously, you do things, you figure it out, and you work on the things that you feel, and or if somebody else is watching, you see if it's somebody that's has a valid point, you know, like Kevin Falk. When I was talking to him, I hound in with him, go back home, talk to him, and those, you know, when it's valuable conversations and when it's people who've been in position, played in Super Bowls, played the position, those are the guys who I listen to.
What did he tell you?
As far as, well, I mean, I grew up in Lafayette, Louisiana. I mean, as far as in Louisiana, so, and he was my coach in college, so we can, as far as the conversation, it was days, multiple days. So it's really just, we worked on some of the things that we did in college, and really just be me. I mean, I can't sit here and pinpoint and tell you everything that we talked about. We'll be here sitting talking, but it's one of those things that he knows as a person. He knows me personally, and he's been there with me from freshman year of college all the way throughout this point. So I feel like if it's not, you know, someone like him or Tommy Robinson, who was my running back coach in college, I feel like those are the guys who kind of know me best and kind of, you know, they watched who I was in college, figured out who I was throughout that time. They watched me in high school because, you know, they were the guys recruiting me coming in, and they kind of give me pinpoints here and there, and then we figure it out and we work on it.
Clyde, I have two questions. How close were you to playing in the Super Bowl? How close did you feel like you were capable of maybe contributing on the field?
I practiced that week, the whole week. I played receiver that week. I played the Z and the zebra. Pretty much played every position with the exception of quarterback and O-line throughout practicing through that week. So I was in my mind kind of thinking that I got activated, I'm say like Tuesday or Wednesday of that week. I really don't know. But I mean, initially it was just going out there, didn't think I was playing. So started practicing. Coach kind of told me, figure some things out as far as, you know, if you know the playbook, the only guy that I would trust to go out here and trying to learn those, I wouldn't even say learn, but you know the playbook. So in order to keep everything going smooth for the biggest game of the year, why not have you go out there, play receiver, keep everything rolling? And if you're doing that for us on the offense, and, you know, I also did scout team. I was Devontae Smith for scout team for the defense. So I did everything that I needed to do in order for us to win that game, and that's just what it was. They called my number, and I was out there.
And my second question is, you said after the win against Tampa that it was really important for you because the last time you were in that building, it was obviously tears of sorrow in your rookie season. There's video of you really embracing Frank after the Super Bowl victory. I'm assuming those are tears of joy. Just can you explain the low of obviously how your rookie season ended and the high of how last season ended, even though you couldn't be on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to dwell and go back into like those deep, hard places, but I would say getting off the bus, this previous Super Bowl, kind of just floating, kind of going, you know, had my headphones on, just kind of figuring everything out. And when I got in, I didn't have my uniform, so it was just one of those things. Is okay, cool. Roll with the, you know, you roll with the punches. That's just what I was raised on. So I'm looking at T. I remember talking to Travis because on video he was the guy walking in behind me, and he seen that I didn't have my uniform. So he kind of looked at me and was like, "I'm gonna get you one." So that was it. Talked to Frank, talked to Kadarius Toney, and those are three guys I talked to. And then after that, we went out there and handled business.
We're going to do three more. We'll go Adam, Karen, and Pete. Go ahead, Adam.
Clyde, Isaiah had a nice rookie season. From your experience, what's that like going into your second season? Do things get any more difficult in any way? What advice do you have for him going into his second season?
I would say things get slightly more difficult in the fact that people just watch a little bit more film, or you have more film. It's not like people going and watch college film on you. But, you know, even with that case, it gets a little difficult, but he's also learning. Like, this is not a place that you come in and it's your first year and you rolling, and then we just kind of like, okay, he's straight. Like, we go in, we bounce things off of each other as far as the things that, you know, he may feel like he need to work on. Pop, Jet, and I, we have a group past 2.5, I'll say every week and a half. We probably hop on FaceTime on the weekend. And it's Pop just kind of telling us about his recovery, Jet kind of filling us in about some of the things, but it's also just us bouncing things off and trying to figure out, the things that we need to get done this upcoming year. Jet knowing, like, man, look, I'm the old guy in the room. Y'all gonna have to kind of help your boy out through camp and all this other stuff. But it's us knowing that it's a collect group. Like, we know the things we have to do in order to be successful. And that's just one of those things. Like, Pop knows that. And just with OTAs, like, we was laughing today. I'm like, man, I don't mind taking however many reps in OTAs. I'm like, we don't have pads on, but once camp comes and we gonna need that 3-4-headed monster. That's just what it is. Because I mean, it's a 17-game season, and as we can tell, man, the running back position is not getting loved like it has been. So the only thing we can do is kind of gel as a unit and move that way and try to be a powerhouse. So he knows that, Jet knows that, and as a group, we just want to continue to move forward.
Karen?
You mentioned something how Travis helped you. He was just in here saying he wants to help anybody who will listen, any position. What kind of influence does he have on the team as a leader, since he's so willing, to go past the tight end room and anyone who wants his expertise? What kinds of things has he helped you with, and how do you see him helping the team?
I really can't speak for everybody else, but comments like Travis is a North Landoner, and I stay up north too. So I would say he's probably my closest neighbor. So the conversations Travis and I have are not always just based off football. I even said probably last year before last, in camp, I just was like, man, Travis was that guy who kind of helped me always kind of get over that edge and has always been there when I needed him. And that's just who he is as a person. And I'm the type, if I feel I can trust you, that's who I lean on. And I feel like as a team as a whole, everybody feels that way. Like, I can go deep down and really know, like, the conversations I've had with Travis, he's helped me a lot. But as far as just team-wise, I mean, I see him at practice. I see him in the locker room. I see training room. If it's Travis is in the training room and he's messed up with something, he may be, more on a bad end than the next person, but he's giving the words of encouragement to that guy who may not be in the same position that he's in order to get them back on the field. So it's someone that you need to have on the team, and I really just having him around, especially me being here these past 4 years, I don't think my headspace and as far as how I feel in general, I kind of give kudos to Travis for that, because he's helped me a lot.
Last one, Pete.
Clyde, obviously off-season schedules are crazy. I know that a number of fans didn't see you at the championship parade. Was there anything more than just scheduling that led you to the decision, or was it something that didn't feel?
Yeah, that was I want to say probably 3-4 months prior to that, I made an obligation, and I remember laughing with Jet. I was like, man, I'm like, we gonna win a Super Bowl. Like, what's the point? Why we don't have the parade like possibly on this date scheduled? And I said that would have been dope, but it's just, I mean, just how I was raised. I'm not gonna verbally give somebody my yes or give them that A-OK and then back out on them 2 days before. That's just I wasn't raised on that with how my dad and how my mom is. So if I give somebody my word, that's just in my head now. I remember just keeping a promise in the 3rd grade to this girl, and like to this day, it hasn't left. So it's just one of them things. Like, if I stand on it and I tell somebody that I'm going to do it, and I'm going, like, it's just what it is. No matter the obligation, no matter the situation. Having eye contact and telling the person, what you're going to do is what loyalty and trust stands on. So that's what I was on.
Okay, thanks, Clyde.
Thank y'all.
All right, guys. George is coming our way.
George.
I guess why, and what would you say you gained the most so far?
Yeah, just during the offseason, you have some time off, and then you kind of get to thinking about different stuff and how you can improve going into your second year, going into the next year. And, I knew there were some Chiefs players and guys that have been a part of the organization that live in town. I just reached out to him just to get some knowledge, and it turned out to be a great relationship, and he's been a great mentor and a great person to me.
Something we talked to you a lot about last year was just Frank and his impact on you. What were those conversations like, just saying goodbye from a team-wise and just what he meant to you?
Yeah, I mean, I love Frank. He meant the world to me. And everybody on this team that was a part of him. It's a great person. At the end of the day, he got to do what he got to do. That's his business. But I love him, man. He just taught me so much that I'll take not only with me forward as a professional football player, but in life too.
George, are there some things you're working on this offseason? Sorry. Are there some things you're working on this offseason in particular as opposed to just kind of general improvement?
Yeah, I think the general improvement's a big one. Really trying to focus on the little things, the mental aspect, the mental side of the game. You can never get too good at that. The details, the fundamentals, and really getting bigger, faster, stronger, and, trying to hit it from every angle.
How much better do you feel about your knowledge of being a National Football League player right now than you did a year ago heading into this mandatory minicamp?
Yeah, I mean, playing 20 games, having that experience, and being around guys like Chris, like Frank, like Carlos, and all the other guys in the room, that helps you out, and I learned a lot this past season. I'm ready to take that with me going forward.
Was there a spot last year where things clicked for you? Was it off season, during the season, anywhere?
I don't know. I couldn't pin down one specific spot. I started feeling good towards the end of the year, going to the playoffs, and hoping to carry that over.
Do you feel like when you look back at that final stretch where you had 5.5 sacks in the last 7 games, was it simply a matter of getting home finally, or was there anything in particular?
You just kind of start to figure it out eventually. It starts to click. You have conversations, and it happens at a different time for everyone. And times it got frustrating. But you just keep going. You just keep going forward and put your best foot forward. And yeah.
George, there were a lot of first times for you this past season. I mean, Super Bowl, then you got to go to the White House. Talk about that experience getting to go to the White House.
Yeah, it was all right. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. From getting drafted in the first round, to the best organization in the league. Just to go on having a pretty good rookie year, and then winning the Super Bowl, going to the White House, and everything that comes with that. I mean, it's been a blessing, man. I'm blessed, truly.
What are your thoughts, what you've seen so far of Felix, the first-round draft pick?
He's been great, man. He's been a little banged up, but he's a student of the game. He's hasn't been on the field a whole lot just because of whatever. But he's been able to soak everything up. Mentally, he's pretty good, and I think he's gonna have a bright future here.
That'll do it for today. Thanks to Randy Mason for producing the show, and to our SportsBeat KC staff of Monty Davis, Jeff Rosen, and Scott Chasen. Hey, maybe you didn't realize this, but the Star produces America's best digital sports page. It's called Morning Sports Edition, and it was 25 pages today. Check it out at liveedition.kansascity.com. Hey, we'll be back soon with another episode of SportsBeat KC. Thanks for listening.